I tried to sit back as far as I could so there'd be a long, awkward silence. Thank you to Dr. Arnn, the platform party, family, and friends. And to the class of 2015, congratulations. We made it. Before I begin my speech, I find it appropriate to brag on behalf of this class to all of you here. The class of 2015 is the smartest class ever admitted to Hillsdale College. And as of last night, it is also the most philanthropic. Last summer, the other class officers and I set a goal for 50% class participation in our Give Back campaign. And according to my count, we've reached our goal. Once we have finalized these pledges, several generous alumni will help us establish a scholarship for next year's incoming freshmen as a token of our love for this place. And one more note. 2 years ago, at RA training, Dr. Arnn made a deal with Matt O'Sullivan that if he kept his 4-point, Dr. Arnn would buy him any book up to a certain amount. And as Matt is too humble to say this for himself, I feel obligated to remind the good doctor of this. I don't know. He doesn't remember.
I have to interrupt you. So, Matthew, what was the amount? $100. I'm losing money like crazy. So send me an email and remind me, and I'll send you the book for the $100. I made a bet with Jack Babbitt. He's going to watch this tape. And he gave a big gift for the chapel. And with the architect sitting there, and with Rich Payway sitting there, he said, "You'll never build this chapel for this amount. It's going to cost 4 times as much." And I said, in a rash moment, "I bet you $5,000 to your favorite charity against $5,000 to mine that we can build it for that." And I looked at Rich, and I looked at the architect, and they both nodded their heads. And I'm getting ready to write a check to Jack Babbitt for $5,000. Now it's $5,100.
Thank you, Dr. Arnn. When I began to write this speech last night, I'm really glad you all thought that was a joke. I considered several different approaches. After all, what is one supposed to talk about in a commencement speech? Should I reflect on the last 4 years here, reminiscing about the highlights of my experience, and attempt to generalize them so that everyone might identify? Not to say that there's anything wrong or at all inaccurate about remembering those nights when the cell phones go silent, the laptops are shut tight, and the conversation amongst friends soars far and wide. After all, it is true that most of us, if not all of us, have had those experiences, and that is a good thing. But this is a commencement address. For a while now, I've found it odd that we call the graduation of seniors in the spring commencement. Dr. Ward pointed this out. Commencement refers to a beginning, to make a start or enter in upon something. Yet we are concluding our education here, and our time has come to an end. Of course, many of you probably want to respond with, "But our education never ends." To which I'd respond, "You're right. Now shut up, I'm giving the speech." So why do we name the ceremony marking our departure from this school, this place, and these people in terms of a beginning? Well, I have a theory. Commencement is an attempt to give this moment a particular significance. In a conscious manner, we want this moment of transition to be one of hope and of promise, a setting out from home in confidence and joy towards some glorious fate. This day is the first day of the rest of our lives, and 4 years here have prepared us to meet it with bright eyes and full hearts. If only that were true. In order to make us even more self-conscious about what is happening right here, right now, I'll tell you how I'm actually feeling. I am terrified. The last time that I was this terrified was 1,350 days ago, August 28th, 2011, and our freshman convocation. I'll be honest with you. And like many here today, I had not wanted to come to Hillsdale. In fact, it was my last choice. Some of you, including my family, knew that. But until now, I've never told anyone the real reason why. It wasn't because of pride or stubbornness or some other pretended thing. I didn't come to this school because I was terrified. Terrified to fail, terrified to succeed, terrified of the unknown. This college is hard. What we do here is difficult from beginning to end without exception. And the worst part is that it is completely up to us to do it. Sure, we have the support of so many wonderful people, but the fundamental responsibility lies with us. The words of Albert Camus from Dr. Jackson's Great Books class come to mind. I didn't know that freedom is not a reward or a decoration that is celebrated with champagne, nor yet a gift, a box of dainties to make you lick your chops. Oh no, it's a chore on the contrary and a long-distance race, quite solitary and very exhausting. At the end of all, freedom is a court sentence. That's why freedom is too heavy to bear, especially when you're down with a fever, or are distressed, or love nobody. 1,350 days ago, we stood together at East Lawn, and at the prompting of Dr. Arnn, we faced our parents and loved ones, hugged them, and walked up to that hill to find those mentor groups we now laughingly remember. And we began our journey. Today, 1,350 days later, we find ourselves together again. And today, I'm still terrified. Terrified to fail, terrified to succeed, terrified of the unknown. And terrified because I'm about to leave the best friends for which a man could ever hope. Last year, Josh Andrew asked on this occasion, was it worth it? This year, I asked the question, is that, whatever we are leaving this for, worth it? And my answer is simple, yes and no. No, because a few of us, just a few of us, will ever have another chance to study these great things, to spend our days in leisure and contemplation, and enjoy the immediate presence of friends engaged in the same activity of soul. Not to mention that if we were to continue all the stupid things we've done here, most of us would live in boxes without a prospect of a real job. And I say yes, that whatever is out there is worth leaving this for, because we were never meant to stay here. The hard truth of this college is that we live and learn here for a short time, during which we are formed and molded to live in the world. We are called from here to love and to teach others, to show them the beauty that we have been shown, to suffer and struggle and do the difficult activity of living. Often it will be thankless. Often it will be suffering. Always, though, it should be joyous. We are called and we must respond. The funny thing about what we are doing here today is that no matter how hard we try, no matter how flowing our robes are or how many pictures we take, we cannot give this day meaning. But that isn't to say that today isn't significant, because in a very real way, this is the most significant day of our lives. For the first time in 4 years, we are gathered together in one place. We've all grown and flourished in a variety of astounding ways. So this moment is not significant because of the robes or the pictures or because we want it to be. The significance and overwhelming meaning of this moment, right here, right now, is not the result of our conscious choice to make it so, but comes from all our experiences until now. And now we stand at the end of this journey, staring into what may seem to be an abyss. Yet this abyss should not terrify us, but give us hope, because in its darkness is not futility and nothingness, but endless possibility for greatness. The unknown is just that, unknown. We can only choose how we greet it, with fear and trembling, or with wonder. So I return to the words of Camus. At the end of all, freedom is a court sentence. That's why freedom is too heavy to bear, especially when you're down with a fever, or are distressed, or love nobody. And I think that this is right, because after 4 years here, we have found freedom to be a chore. It has been a long-distance race, at times quite solitary and very exhausting and far too heavy to bear. This is the fate to which we have dedicated ourselves in our commitment to this college and to each other. But here at the end of it all, this realization is the moment to which our education has led us, to recognize the difficulty of what we have chosen to do, and not merely to face it, but to thrive in the face of it. We have not simply overcome suffering, we have been formed by it for a future far more glorious than any we can conceive. We need only look back at those men and women who helped raise us, our parents, for a model of this. Consider what it means to bear a child, bringing into this world new life, a helpless and vulnerable person for whom you are wholly responsible. This burden is terrifying. Yet they are here today not because of fear for responsibility, but out of love for the life that they have helped form and in the process been formed by. They recognize the beauty of this moment not because it isn't a moment without strife and despair, but they recognize the beauty of this moment because they have persevered through those things. And they have learned to love that which is true and good. From this moment forward, we will share in this beauty, and not because it isn't suffering or pain or struggle, but because through those things, our hearts and souls have been formed to a greater love of that which is good and beautiful. After all, one sees clearly only with the heart. Anything essential is invisible to the eyes. So today, I thank God and I thank all of you, because we know that this freedom we undertake is not too heavy. We love just as we are loved. And we have the people around us today, our family, our friends, and each other, to thank for that. As we gather here together again, I have faith that this love will abide. Through it, we will know beauty. And through it, we have a hope that leads us beyond the confines of this world.